Hi, I'm Dr. Zachary Ginder with Pine Siskin Consulting. In this series, I'll be answering workplace wellness, psychology, leadership, and organizational development questions through an evidence-informed lens. For each episode, I'll select one question to explore in more detail. Now, if you have a question that's in search of an answer, I encourage you to submit it in the comments section below or on the Pine Siskin Consulting website contact form, and the address for that will also be listed in the show notes. So this week's question comes from an individual in Los Angeles who writes, "Dear Dr. Zach, I can't look at social media without immediately feeling like I'm not doing enough professionally. The people I follow and even my former classmates and current coworkers seem to always be extremely busy, successful, and on the go. Am I really falling behind, or is there something else that I'm not considering?" Okay, so although I can't speak directly to your professional progress, from your question, my sense is that you're likely very conscientious and introspective, which are two very good traits to possess, especially when considering career trajectory and your next steps to take. Ultimately, though, the only person that can answer if you're falling behind professionally, and the only opinion that truly matters, is your own. That said, there is definitely more to the story when we're talking about these posts online. So it is very easy to get lost down the rabbit hole, per se, of compare and despair when we take a look at the busy lives of others on social media. So I encourage you to take a step back and consider that busyness is not a competition. I'm going to say it again. Busyness is not a competition. And you're right to assume that something else is at play when people, or particularly influencers within the space, post about their back-to-back stacked schedules. In research, this has been referred to as conspicuous consumption of time. Others just call it humblebrag. So, especially in the United States, a lack of time has become almost a symbol of a status symbol, per se, where busyness is actually seen as a virtue, and it almost becomes performative on social media. I mean, we've all seen the posts, right? So why has this happened? Well, there is evidence to suggest that, particularly in the US, higher paid and or higher educated workers are indeed actually working longer hours in comparison to some of the previous decades. However, I don't believe that this is the heart of the issue. And alternately as well, some people genuinely are that busy. But overall, when someone posts about either having no time or how busy they are, or about their stacked schedule, the message that they are attempting to convey is that they are in demand, that their time is scarce, and that in turn they have higher social capital, higher status, and upward mobility. And we, as an entire US professional work culture, tend to glorify this type of hustle. So, put another way, busyness is really a symptom of a work-obsessed culture, which I believe we have overall in the US. So the question is, does it work? Do people actually confer higher status to humble brags about busyness and being in demand? Well, unfortunately, yes, people do. You needn't think any further than that holiday brag letter that you get from your cousin or your distant relative. But even in the lab, this is proven out. So a research study by Beliza et al. In 2016 found that when participants were given scenarios for a busy person and someone who was not as busy, conspicuously busy, the fictitious busy person was viewed as having higher status, being more in demand, and having more social capital overall. So the good news is that now you know that there is indeed more to this story. Chances are these humble brag posts about busyness and hustle culture overall are highly curated strategies to draw you into the belief that this person has an elevated status, is in demand, and that their time is valuable, which makes you want to buy into what they're selling, whether that is a personal belief system about who they are as a personal brand, or what they are legitimately selling. Now, I do want to clarify that being busy itself is not the issue. there's ample evidence to suggest that active lifestyles that most people would consider as busy can actually have a very positive impact on cognition, physical, and psychological health. For example, having an active community network, whether that's professional network, spiritual, sporting, parenting, or other, can actually buffer against physical and psychological maladies. And social support in and of itself has been found to actually extend your lifespan, which is pretty incredible when it aligns with your actual needs. So the next time you see a post about how busy someone is, I encourage you to take a deep breath, recognize those emotional pangs of the onset of compare and despair, and then set them aside while reserving personal judgment of these feelings, and consider why this person may be sending this message of busyness to the masses. So as a reminder, if you like this content and you'd like to see more, I encourage you to please click the thumbs up and subscribe buttons if you're on YouTube. Leave a comment and click the bell icon so that you can be notified when I post another episode. So until next time, this is Dr. Zachary Ginder for Pine Siskin Consulting, wishing you professional wellness, success, and joy in your life.